This is The McGraw Show on KTRS.
All right, let's go to London and check in with our dear friend Linda Albin, who is just over the royal baby news. Good morning, Linda Albin, live from London.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to hear your voice. A little bit of a jewel heist going on in France these days, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to start out by saying you have a very strong grip, the kind a burglar needs. We're talking about, literally, To Catch a Thief in Cannes. Remember the Hitchcock romantic thriller starring Grace Kelly and Cary Grant? It was filmed on the French Riviera, and the hotel that was featured was the Carlton. That was 1955. But this Sunday, at around noon, what appeared to be a lone gunman armed with a Colt .45 walked into a jewel exhibition in the hotel and basically walked off with 53 million bucks worth of diamonds and other gems.
Pretty extraordinary that somebody can just walk in and take it and leave?
Yeah. It does sound extraordinary. What I can tell you is there were 3 security guards inside, but we believe they were unarmed. And obviously what police want to know is whether or not this guy, believed to be a man in his mid-40s was acting alone, or did he have help on the inside?
Whose jewels were they?
They were part of an exhibition and a collection that belonged to the Leviev Diamond House, that's owned by the London-based Russian-Israeli billionaire Lev Leviev. So that's who they belong to. There are a couple of things that are interesting here. Number one, everybody's kidding around saying, sounds like a case for Inspector Clouseau. Well, maybe not so funny, because 3 of the internationally famous jewel thief ring, known as the Pink Panthers, are actually out of jail at the moment. A Bosnian member of the gang actually broke out of his Swiss jail just last week on Thursday. And if you look at the numbers of robberies in Cannes recently, you got to sort of look at this timeline and think, could it be?
What about video? Is there any video of this?
I don't know. They haven't said that there is video of it. There well may be, but, we've got 3 security guard eyewitnesses plus a couple of employees of the hotel. So, yeah, it would be great to see the video, and I'm sure if it's there, they have got it. I would be surprised if there wasn't. If there isn't, I think somebody's going to catch hell.
Yeah, no, I would think if you got $53 million worth of jewels, you would at least have a video camera somewhere in there watching it.
You would have thought so. What's kind of interesting is the Carlton, by the way, was the scene of one of the biggest ever diamond robberies back in 1994, where a group of thieves actually fired machine guns as they burst into the hotel's jewelry store and made off with $60 million worth of diamonds. So clearly Cannes is a magnet for jewel thieves. Just during the Cannes Film Festival, there were at least 2 jewel robberies, okay? One at the Novotel Hotel. So questions being asked today, given the recent spate of robberies, should such valuable gems be in hotels where there is an apparent lack of adequate security? And that's a fair question.
Well, no question about it. How does somebody in 2013 walk into a hotel in broad daylight with one gun and walk out with $53 million in jewels?
If only I'd know.
Right, exactly. I don't think anybody. Yeah, so, Linda Albin, clearly there is more to this story, too, come out. The authorities have to be chasing down a couple of leads here.
I think so. I think there is no question that they're looking to see, as I say, whether or not this guy really acted on his own. He may have been the only one to have been, hefting a gun and walked in. But I just can't believe he pulled this off entirely on his own. And, boy, if this goes back to the Pink Panthers, it's going to make one hell of a story, if not a movie. It's like, there was Oceans 11, 12, 13. Well, here you go.
Right, yeah, no. On another note, Pope Francis has World Youth Day. I guess everything went off swimmingly, right?
Better than swimmingly. In fact, he tweeted 5 days. He says, "I'm back home, and I assure you my joy is much greater than my exhaustion." He scored big time. There were millions, literally, on Copacabana Beach in Rio. It was an extraordinary thing, I have to say, to watch, but he has made headlines since then on the plane, heading back home to Rome. He reached out to the gay community, and made it clear that he would not judge anyone, including priests, for their sexual orientation. The Pope said if someone is gay, and I talked to someone who was on that plane and heard him say it. She said she's never seen anybody speak so directly. If someone is gay and he searches for the Lord and has good will, who am I to judge? Big departure from his predecessor.
Was this an off-the-cuff comment? Was it planned? Was it strategically planted? I mean, this is extraordinary news.
It was a wide-ranging news conference that he gave on the plane. He answered a lot of questions. He talked about a lot of issues. I mean, to some extent, I'm being told by our Vatican Watcher that this is entirely new. This is the line of the church. Basically you're supposed to remain chaste, but, there should be a level of tolerance. But let's not forget that his predecessor had actually authored a document on this, in which he said men with deep-rooted homosexual tendencies should not be priests. And that's not exactly the same thing. When it came to the role of women in the church, by the way, he said it should be more prominent, but it does exclude female ordination. He says, Jesus chose male apostles, so no change there. Clearly, the church has spoken on abortion, wasn't going to go there, no change. And he does have an 8-cardinal commission looking into allowing divorcees to take communion, and that is a big issue for many divorcees within the Catholic Church who have been excluded from communion and are both hurt and angry by that.
I just so I hear you, Linda Albin, the Pope said, quote, "Who am I to judge?"
Mm-hmm.
All right, just so I got that. That's extraordinary. If someone is gay and he searches for the Lord and has goodwill, who am I to judge? That from Pope Francis as he headed back from World Youth Day. That's some pretty big news. Linda Albin, thanks for checking in. Do not wear those jewels for the next couple of weeks. Lay low. So
I'm gonna lie low.
There you go. Linda Albin, live in London. Thanks, Linda.
Thank you.
7:27 here on the Big 550 KTRS.